So now's the time. We have a few announcements to go through. I will try to make them brief. And first, please refer to what's in your bulletin because there's more details, everything on there. Several things happening today. If you came in through the downstairs, you certainly noticed the holiday craft fair sale, bake sale, and things that are going on. So today is the last day for that event. So take the opportunity to find something special for a friend. 2 meetings happening afterwards. There's a very important YFM teachers meeting at 12:45. That'll be over in the manse. And then there is a welcome team meeting at 12:30. So anyone who's interested in being part of that welcoming committee, that when people are coming in for their service, please join them. And I believe that's going to be in the green room. Yes? Okay, green room, good. As you've noted in the pews, there's some extra little friends along with you. So all of our wonderful stuffed animals and things, and that's part of our community outreach. If you have questions about it, see Stacy. Bring them next Sunday. That'll be the last Sunday to have them here. So we just get to love them up. This is the final week for the class that Reverend Edith's been teaching, A Trip to Bethlehem. What a phenomenal metaphysical piece of the story. And I couldn't help as we were singing the songs this morning, where was my old traditional brain? But now I have such a different sense when I hear the word shepherd, when I hear these other words that may have triggered old traditional pieces, but there's a whole new meaning behind it if you're open to it. So it's been a phenomenal class. That will be Wednesday evening and Thursday morning. Put on your calendars some upcoming events. The last Sunday, which is the 30th, there will be a Kwanzaa celebration. There will be a potluck afterwards, so remember potluck that day. We have special evening services on Christmas Eve and on the New Year's Eve. Both of those services are at 5:30, and there will not be a 9 o'clock service next Sunday or on the 30th, so just the 11 o'clock services. It's such a big service going on. We wanted to focus our attention there, so don't plan on coming at 9 o'clock unless you want to help. Get ready. We'd love that. So that's a lot, but there's more in your bulletin, and feel free to see others if you need to. Oh, one more. Almost forgot. Poinsettias. We decorate the church next Sunday with poinsettias. We are in need of other people. $10 for a poinsettia. You can take it home. I think we only have about 3 sold so far out of what we would like to have is 12 to 15. So please go to the bookstore and sign up for that today. All right. So now is the time we get to welcome our guests. So is there anyone that hasn't been here in a very long time, or maybe this is their second or third time to the service? If you'd raise your hands. Okay, well, we're all old friends this way. Oh, welcome back. Thank you. And if you want to go down to the bookstore after the service, there'll be a gift for you, so thank you. Is there anyone that may be visiting for the very first time? I don't know if I don't see any new faces there. All right. Well, know that when we do have our visitors, we have a gift of a candle, that is the Christ's light within them that they can take home and enhance their experience from being here today. And everyone, please join us downstairs. There is the fellowship afterwards, and of course the craft sale that you see down there too. So next, our 5 basic principles should be up on the screen. Is there one or two of you who would like to share briefly how this has come about in your life this past week? And we should have a mic that will be coming around if you want to share. Okoswa, and also then Loretta will.
Well, I had a surprise today. I was looking back there on the sheet of people that came to visit.
Keep it to your mouth.
Okay. Is that all right now?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I was looking at the sheet back there of people that have visited the church and wrote their name and address and so on. And there was my cousin's name from Owego, New York. And I knew that she was up here, and I didn't know, though, that she had gone to church. I haven't talked to her all this week, and we're very, very close normally. And I was just so surprised. So that was Kathy McCain. So that was a surprise to me today.
number one, God is the source and creator, and we must live these spiritual principles. So I run a group called Azuri, which is a group for LGBTQ people of color. And every year we do a service project in December, and I go off to the dollar store, and I go off to various stores and stuff. And there's always a guy from my writers group who hands me a check for $100. And I always match that. And so I'm pulling this cart, heaping with stuff and everything at Real Deals out in, I think that's North Syracuse, Mattydale. I'd never been there before. Kate, Miss Nitch told me about it. Anyhow, to make a long story short, or shorter, I get up to there and I find out they don't take cards, and I never have cash. So I've got this heaping cart with everything in it, and the guy finally says, oh, if your check is local, I'll take a check. So I write this check, but I have 201 things, but there's still stuff in the cart. And the cashier says to me, if you hold on a moment, I think he was the store manager, I'll go get my checkbook, and I will write a check for the rest of the items over the 201. So that's what he did. And you know, the thing is about this, every single year, no matter what store I go to when I do this same service project, somebody gives me money towards all of this. So it really is about sharing and caring about one another. One year, a woman said, our house burned down a month and a half ago, and people were really generous to me, and she handed me $50. So, you know, it really is. We are each other's sister, mother, father, brother, whatever it is. And I truly appreciate that the world really has kindness out there no matter, and love, no matter what it looks like. Thank you.
And now we begin more of our prayer time of the service. This is where we bring up our prayer box, and we have a blessing things with that. But know that here at this church we have prayer chaplains available to pray with you both before and after the service. There is a silent meditative time from 10:30 to 10:45. Chaplains then available to pray with you from 10:45 to 10:55, and then also after the service. So will be one up here, and there'll be one downstairs. Makosa was serving today, and Stacy is serving afterwards. Thank you. So as the prayer box comes forward, know that you can put your intentions and requests in there at any time. You may hold them on your heart, for it is in just that expression that they are taken care of. Unity founded on prayer, and at Silent Unity, over 125 years ago, prayer has been non-stop. Absolutely amazing, non-stop. And so your prayer requests are held here in confidence for the next 30 days. Then they're forwarded on to Silent Unity, where for another 30 days they are held in confidence. So,
it is with a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As we breathe in who and what we are, we know that we're breathing in joy and laughter. We know that we are breathing in who we are sent here to be, and that is loving, kind, and gentle human beings. We remember our earth community. We remember that each of us is going to do what we can do to preserve Mother Earth. We know that each prayer in this box is a similar kind of thing. It is about love and kindness and generosity. It is about joy and laughter. It could also be about pain and sorrow, but we know that that is really not who we are, because as gentle, loving, and kind human beings, we know that we see the best and the brightest in each other and in our world community. And so as we circle ourselves in this season in peace and joy and understanding, we also know that at each and every opportunity, we get to radiate out love, and that really is as it should be. So as we continue to stand, we always stand in love. Amen.
Now is our meditative part of this service. Now, some of you may have already joined me in closing your eyes. If you have not done so, I invite you to do that now. If you are not comfortable closing your eyes, I simply invite you to focus on one spot in the room, perhaps this Christ candle and the candles that are representing Advent, faith, peace, and love. For when we focus on one spot in the room, we understand that there is no spot where God is not. God is here, operating within us. And so we take this moment to consider light, perhaps an iridescent light, a light that is shining ever so brightly, as bright as this Christ candle. And for a moment, if you could consider that that iridescent light is the light that is you, that there is this light that is radiating out from deeply within you, radiating out love, agape love. And that with this light, it only recognizes light. And so we take a moment to be still in this awareness and to take in that we, each of us, are the light, that we are the light of the world. We release and let go of anything that is not light, that is not love, that is not peace, that is not faith, and allow ourselves to have the experience of love now. For in this moment, moment by moment, we are generating and vibrating the activity of love. And so we take in the silence with us these words: I am light, I am love. I am light, I am love. Iridescent light, agape love. In the silence, we go deeper together and say to ourselves, I am light, I am love. In the silence, we join our hearts and minds as one light, one love. In the silence, we go deeper together. I am. I am light. I am. I am love. I am light. I am And in this expanded state of awareness, we bring into our hearts all of the prayer intentions which have been placed in our prayer box. We bring to this space anyone who may be not experiencing the light that they are, the love of who they are. We bring them to this space. For we understand what light and love feels like, for we are in this space. And we lift up all, whether it is for some seeming challenge or for something to celebrate. Celebrating love, celebrating light, celebrating life. In this space, we change the world. And so it is. And so we let it be us. Amen. And amen. And amen.
Love is the meaning of Christmas. Wherever you go, let everyone know that it's true. Warm is the feeling of Christmas. You know that you care, so show it and share the warmth of a smile. So look beneath the wrappings and reach beyond the day. Christmas can last forever when we hear what it has to say. Hope is the reason for Christmas, a hope that the peace we all want to see will come true. Yet love is the meaning of Christmas, but the spirit of Christmas depends on you. So look beneath the wrapping and reach beyond the day. Christmas can last forever if we hear what it has to say. Hope is the meaning of Christmas, a hope that the peace we all want to see will come true. Yes, love is the meaning of Christmas, and the spirit of Christmas depends on you. The meaning of Christmas is love.
Wasn't that beautiful? Our wonderful music director, Mark Wildman. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try to see if this thing will sit up. Uh-oh. Can you give me a few books out of the pews? Because this is, I wanted to sit up. This is my new friend. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if maybe that'll do it. Nope, it's not. Well, while he works on that, I'll go over here. Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Edith Washington Woods, your senior minister. Put it in front of the lectern? No, but I need to touch it. Uh-oh. He'll work on it. He's got an idea. Okay. What a wonderful day. So I picked up this stuffed animal. I picked up this stuffed animal because I had a graphic of it, and it was sitting over in the pew over there by where you are, Barb. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch them. And I didn't realize it didn't have much legs. Okay, so we're gonna figure this out.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Give him a seat, and now we'll put him. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and I'll put this water right here. So this is our friend today, and I've been loving it up because look at it. Look at its eyes. I mean, seriously? You know it's a minion, right? I don't know, but you know what? Because last week, I called it George, the animal George, and so somebody said, well, didn't you know that was Winnie the Pooh? And I said, no, I did, but I wanted to give it a name, and I'm going to give this a name. The name on this, it says Despicable Me. Is that its real name? No, but I made it up. It's okay. But look at its eyes. Can you imagine if your eyes looked like that when you were a little kid? When we are children, sometimes we get names because of the way we look. And here's this minion that I'm calling Despicable Me because it says it. But then it says the one and only cuddle pillow. The one and only. But all of you have like wonderful pillows out there. But I'm thinking about what it was like for me when I was a kid. And the story that I read earlier this week about this little girl who had a bunch of different names that people called her when she was a kid. Now, I don't know if they called her Despicable Me or not, but she definitely felt like she wasn't loved. And she felt like she didn't fit in. Now, I don't know if it was like that for you or not, but imagine having the weight of your world. Things like, I can't do it, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. I don't know if any of you ever had any of those kind of words, but maybe you had some word that someone called you, or maybe something you told yourself. Now, I know for me, I thought, it was, gosh, look at this. I thought my glasses were bigger. And here is this despicable thing with glasses bigger than mine. And what would you call it? Something that it's got the legs, and we had to figure out how to prop it up. But yet, there is this essence of love that is there. Otherwise, someone would not have bought it, right? But the little girl that I'm telling you about, she believed all these things about herself. And she grew up thinking, oh yeah, I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to be good enough. I'm never going to possibly do anything in my life because I am fill in the blank. Because I have a big nose, because I have, an extra finger. Some people do have extra fingers or toes. I had a friend like that. And people would say things, and she would make things up about herself. So this girl, she walked through her life. She walked, and she walked, and she walked, and she went through this life being very sad, being very depressed. And that emotion just just kept going and going and going, following her as if she was taking her little rag doll around, her rag doll that she called herself. But what she discovered was that as she learned how to accept herself and love herself, then her whole world changed. It got transformed into some new way of being. You know, she thought that she could find it outside of herself. You ever done that? You know, like, oh, I'm sad and I'm depressed. I'm going to go to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist. I'm going to get some self-help books and all that. And you go and gather all these things. And it's still sad. It's still depressed. And so this girl started working on her inner self. And she might have came to a New Thought church like ours and learned how God is, I am. So in the learning that God is everywhere present and I am a part of it, she is, then she started learning how to love herself. And her life started transforming. And she would notice those tapes that would play in her mind, and then she could replace them. Like, no, I'm not that. I'm not that mistake. I'm me. She discovered that she was how God gets around. And she learned that when she was able to accept herself, she was able to release the burden that she put on other people to love her. Do you hear what I'm saying? When she learned how to accept herself, she was able to release the burden she placed on other people to love her. Because you can't love what you don't already have. So we're talking about love today. This is the main part of this Advent week. And in our book that we've been studying, we're actually coming to the end of it, actually. By the 30th, we'll be done. That Mark Nepo says that it's really all about our heart, what we do with our heart. And that our heart is designed to bring us alive by meeting our feelings and relating to them. So this little girl who had this feeling of sadness and depression, if she became awake to it, aware that she was having it, then she could do something about it. But sometimes we don't know that we're having these things. We're just kind of living with them. And he goes on to say that the work of loving yourself, which we can always return to, is to stay in conversation with the great living depth from which all these moods and feelings rise. So when we're having these feelings of sadness and depression and, you know, all those things that we thought about ourselves, I know you've never had any of that. None of you. Yeah, right. You know it, right? That when these things come back and play that old tape, that old tired tape, that tired tape, that tired tape, that tired tape, that we can replace them with a new one. That's what it's talking about. That we can recognize them and allow them to shift in our lives. That when we realize we're having these emotions that may not feel so good, that then we can experience the energy of life. Because if we try to hide them and act like we never have them, it's not like they went away. We just do something else to try to compensate. You know, eat extra cookies, have some chocolate ice cream. I don't even like chocolate ice cream, so I'm not talking about me. But you know what I mean. We want to go and we want to cover them up so we can't feel them. But in order for them to be transformed, we have to realize they're happening, and then they can be released into the nothingness that they are. Because really, underneath that is our call to love. That each of us, every single one of us, want to be loved. I think that's why you came today. So that we get to love each other. that we get to love each other. Otherwise, we could just stay home. Even when we're looking at it on live streaming, love streaming, people, I know you want to connect. It is the connection that we get to have first with ourselves that then we radiate out to the universe. So we want to radiate out love's presence. And in order to do that, we have to look at ourselves. Like look at ourselves in a mirror type thing. So Mark Nepo, he was at the Shed Aquarium, wasn't it the Shed? Yeah, the Shed Aquarium in Chicago. Now, I have to tell you, I spent a lot of years at the Shed Aquarium because, well, my mother grew up in Chicago and we lived in Gary, which is not far, 20 minutes or something. And so I remember that aquarium, going there and watching the animals and stuff. And so he was there, and there was some jellyfish that were from different parts of the world. And he got mesmerized by one of them. This particular jellyfish, it was iridescent and translucent, and it was flowing. Its tentacles, or whatever you call those things, you know what I mean, right? It's got a dome and it's got the stuff. And it was doing this dance. And it was just shining. And he was wondering if that shining that it was doing was radiating out to him, vibrating to him, that allowed him to shine. But what if it's like that for us? That when we allow love to be us, like really be the full expression of us, that perhaps we shine in a way that vibrates out. And that you get to feel it, and you get to feel it, and you get to feel it, and then we bounce that light off of each other, despite all of the things that happen in life, because stuff happens, you know. Life it really does. It just happens. And yet, we're called to be that love in expression. We're called to look past those things that we get stuck in, like sadness, for instance, that we don't have to stay stuck there. That really, all we have to do is move into love. Just drop into love. Just dance into love. You know, I was somewhere the other day, and somebody said, yeah, I want to dance because so-and-so danced. And all of a sudden, I was like, whoa. I was just elated. I was so happy because that person talked about the next person that they were going to dance. So much so that I had to call a co-star. I was like, co-star, hey, and it's like 8:30 in the morning. Hey, I can't wait to tell you. They were talking about dancing. They were talking about me. And I was like, when I get to work today, work, right, I'm going to dance. Because the light, it was just bouncing off of me because they were having that experience, and we got to experience too. And I have to tell you, you would think that the person that the other person was referring to wouldn't be a dancer because she was a voluptuous woman. More voluptuous than I. But you would think, well, why would that person dance? Well, why not? If dancing helps the vibration come up, it doesn't matter what you look like. Those things we tell ourselves are not the truth of who we are. The truth is we are light. The truth is we are love. And if we allow ourselves just for a moment to let that light shine, then it will. Because that's all it's waiting to do, is to shine as us so that we can transform our own inner selves and radiate that out to the world. Why do we do this? We've been having these little stuffed animals for the last few years or so. Why do people get excited? Because we get to love this thing. It's just a piece of fabric with something stuffed in it. It's not that, is it? Right. It's like beautiful. I wish I could take a picture of those of you holding those. It's just so beautiful. And just think about whoever it is that gets it. they get, that love that we poured into it, that we radiated out from ourselves. For this is the essence of our being, is love, as it says in attitudinal healing. This is who we are. Because God is love, and we are love. That's what we're talking about. And in our Bible verse for today, it comes from the Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 7, and it says, "You are altogether beautiful, my love, in every part of you." Do you believe it? You don't have to believe it. You just have to take it in and say the words and just say it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Because the vibration of those words will transform us into love. You ever heard the notion of fake it till you make it? So if you're having any experience of sadness, depression, or any of those things and then staying stuck in it, take this on. You're altogether beautiful, my love, in every part of you. That's every part. That's every little part, even the short little legs. Even my short little legs. Because, I really think that I'm about 6'5". I need some really high heels to get there. Yeah, because I'm 5'2", that's the truth. Until I put on 4 or 5 inch heels, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we get to be this. We get to know that every part of our being is love. Don't we want to let it be? So self-love, okay. So, where am I? So Mark Nepo said, Buddha says, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. Can't you give it to yourself? Michael Jackson had a song called "The Man in the Mirror." And if I put this mirror up, I'm starting with the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. I'm asking you to change your ways. So I'm looking at the mirror, asking myself to change. That no message could ever been so clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. We get to do that. So how do we change when we have all of these messages from the past? How do we do that? And why? Because ultimately, it's about self-love so that then we can give it and then we can get it back. Like there's this song that Karen Drucker made, "I love myself so much, so you can love me so much, so you can love me so much, I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so you can love me so much, so you can start loving me." Yeah? So it's really all about our self-love. And that's not it. I forgot. It jumped over. Okay, so anyway, self-love. I was wondering what happened to that slide. Self-love is asking myself what I need daily and promising to receive it. What do we do daily? What can we do each day? One thing we could do, especially those of you who drive a car, the rear view mirror? Don't look in it unless you're driving. But when you get in the car, you turn the car on, look in that mirror, and you say, "I love you, I love you, I love you." Just really simple. Even if you don't believe it. Just look over at it. You might have to lean over unless you turn it toward yourself. That's all cool. Then you have to turn it back. But you can look in that mirror. Or when you get up in the morning, you go take, to the restroom and whatnot, and you pause at the mirror so that you're the man or the woman looking in the mirror and doing the practice. Because it's only going to get into that deep, deep part that feels like this minion by practicing the activity of love. So can you say this with me as if you're looking in this mirror? I love you. Together. You see yourself? Look in there. Say it again, please. I love you. Look at how beautiful you are. Beautiful, amazing. Because you are how God gets around, You had to be made exactly like you are in order for the expression of love, the expression of God to happen. And then we tell ourselves stuff. Stop it. Tell yourself how much you love yourself, how grateful you are for this body and why you had to inhabit it. Don't know, but you are. Huh? I'm really talking to myself. You know those things we tell ourselves? I'm stopping it. Because this is love. This is love. This is love. This is love. Yeah. And our affirmation can assist us with getting there for today. Here it goes. I am looking in the mirror to experience love. Take that in. Okay, let's say it together. I am looking in the mirror to experience love. Again. I am looking in the mirror to experience love. Now let's just take a moment to take that in. I'm closing my eyes. If you could join me, please. And just think about looking in that mirror, wherever it is, whether it's in a car, whether it's in a bathroom, wherever it is you are, and you see that mirror, you stop and look at yourself. You tell yourself, I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for this experience in this body. And we open our eyes and say this loving affirmation one more time together. I am looking in the mirror to experience love. And so it is. And so we simply allow it to be us. Amen. Thank you. And now it's time for our tithes, love offerings, and gifts. And we have our, it should be there, but it's not. Okay, so it's not there. Okay, there it is. So we have a December prosperity affirmation before we do our love offering affirmation because, Akoswa gave a perfect example of how giving and receiving. We're giving at this time of the year. We're giving and giving and giving of ourselves. What if we took on every single thing that we're about to give, that we actually say, I'm giving to you because I love myself, and I'm allowing that jellyfish, that iridescent vibration of love to go into whatever we're giving, whether we're giving things or we're giving food, and just pour our own love into it. It's the same way with the gifts and tithes and love offerings that we give here on Sunday. And so we have a December prosperity affirmation that I'd like us to say together. Can we say this together, please? I affirm in giving generously, it comes back to me. One more time. I affirm in giving generously, it comes back to me. Because what we have done here today with creating this essence of love is that we've given away our love. And it's already coming back to us. Because you feel it, right? Don't you? It's the same way when we give of our money, substance, or whatever it is, and in whatever way that we give. And so now we have our love offering affirmation, our blessing, and let's say our love offering blessing together, please. Together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. You are my source.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. For those of you that know that, join with me. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. Let's do that one more time. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
You're wondering, what does Gandhi have to say? I left my checkbook in my office, but I already looked at it, so I know what Gandhi has to say, and then I'll put my check in. He says, love is where the heart is. Yes. So come on over here, Big Tom. So good to see you. Thank you. What was funny? It was funny. Oh, because you, okay. You're so loving and generous. Thank you so much. And I hear people, you're rubbing your hands together, yes, because that vibration, that highly vibrating part of us, that part that is love, it is being, we put our hands together and allow it to move through our hands from our hearts through our hands toward this money substance as we pray. Spirit, loving God, we're so grateful that Spirit is real, that it gets to operate in us, through us, and as us, that it is all around us, and yet we know it in a personal way as it touches our own heart, speaks through us. We're grateful for these tithes and love offerings and gifts and the giver, knowing and affirming that it comes back tenfold. We're grateful for how Spirit shows up. In this moment, we pray, and so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Thank you. Okay.
We're good.
Awesome.
What y'all do today?
We're finishing our scenery for the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So next Sunday, we have a little surprise for everybody. I need the children here by 9:45 next Sunday for practice for the surprise. I'm not going to tell you. Also, we have our Kwanzaa celebration practice starting on Saturday at 10:30. So any kid that wants to be involved in that, we're going to be here 10:30 to 12-ish. Practice starts next Saturday, 22nd, and then the 29th. And then the Kwanzaa celebration is the last Sunday of the month on the 30th. There's a brief teachers meeting at 12:45 for anybody interested joining YFM. That's all I have here. So stay tuned for next Sunday. Leave you in suspense.
Yeah. Ooh. And we want to really give thanks to Tavion for his first Syracuse Community Choir. He's in the children's choir, and he had a solo. He did really well. Thank you, Tavion. And the various members of our community who are part of the community choir. I saw you. It was fabulous. Actually, it was a packed house. So I think it's over 700, yep. Janine's in the choir, And yeah, it was packed. There was no seats left. Some of us had to sit on the floor. That was cool. Yeah, so it was great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then we have our children's blessing and affirmation. And this is for children everywhere, all our children all over the world, as well as those are here. And we say this blessing together. Together, please. We bless our children wherever they are. We see them surrounded by love and light throughout the week. We have a thriving, expanded youth and family ministry. Yes, we do. And we have the prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Okay, and the peace song, everybody.